In this lab, we'll take a look at a common web application firewall, Metaspolitable, and install and configure it in order to see how it can and can't protect us from the remote code execution vulnerability in Gila CMS. Before that, I'll do a quick demo of the remote code execution vulnerability to show you what it looks like before we impose any mitigations on it. To do this, I'll use the reverse shell exploit in the exploits folder. This requires a base URL, which will be http://gila.ii, our IP address, which looks to be 172.20.0.4, and a port number of our choosing. I'll do 1337. Create a netcat listener at 1337. And fire off the exploit. This gives us the shell on the Gila CMS server, allowing us full code execution. Now, let's go ahead and install a Metaspolitable and see how that affects the exploit. First, ensure that Metaspolitable is installed. Fantastic. Now that we've ensured that Metaspolitable is installed, we'll need to make sure it's configured to run as we expect. Go to /etc/Metaspolitable, copy the recommended configuration so that it no longer has the -recommended extension, and then edit this file. We'll need to change the security rule engine line so that rather than detection only, it reads on. By default, Metaspolitable will only log suspicious requests. It won't actually block them. Once we've edited the configuration, we'll need to restart the Apache server. We can do this through initd. Go to etc init.d apache2 restart. Once Apache 2 has restarted, Metaspolitable should be running. Now that Metaspolitable is running, let's try running the exploit once again. I'll navigate back to the exploits folder, run the reverse shell exploit with the correct parameters, ensure that I have a netcat listener, and we can see our exploit failed this time. In order to look at why our exploit failed, let's take a look at the Metaspolitable logs. These can be viewed at var log apache2 modsec_audit.log. Here we can see the original request, the sender of the request, any cookies or headers that were attached to it, the response given, and the reason for the response. We can see that we requested a PHP reverse shell with 2 .. appended to it, and we received a forbidden response. Looking at the reason, we can see that Metaspolitable noticed that this was a directory traversal, meaning that Metaspolitable most likely flagged the .. in the front. Now, does this mean that Metaspolitable has completely mitigated this vulnerability? The answer to this is no. We can modify the vulnerability so that the .. are no longer present. Going down to the bottom of the reverse shell exploit, we can see that the final post URL is crafted with 2 .. If we remove these slashes and replace them with the absolute path of var www/html, our exploit should now work again. Let's give it one more try. Fantastic. We've received a reverse shell back once again. Because mod security works based off of its rules, it has no way of knowing that this particular location in the web root is a malicious address. We can request that mod security be more suspicious of requests by increasing the paranoia level. We can do this by editing our mod security configuration once again. Go back to mod security, enter into the CRS directory, and edit crs-setup.conf. After scrolling down a few lines, you should see a section that is entitled as Paranoia Level Initialization. We'll need to edit this. Go down to the commented section and uncomment these lines. Finally, we'll need to change the paranoia level. Let's change it to 4. Once this has been changed, once again restart the Apache server. Fantastic. And once again, let's try our exploit. Fantastic. Our exploit failed. Now, while increasing the paranoia level to 4 has blocked our exploit, it'll have some unintended side effects. In particular, increasing the paranoia level to 4 means that normally accepted and non-malicious things will be blocked. We can see this by attempting to log into the admin panel with the username of admin@gila.ii and a password of admin. When we log in, we see that we've been forbidden. This is because mod security now believes that our login request is actually malicious. We can verify this once again by looking at the mod security logs. If we take a look at the final request that we sent, you see that we sent a request to gila/admin with our username of admin, a URL encoded @ gila.ii, and the password of admin. We received the forbidden response, just like we saw in Firefox. Looking at the reason why, we see that there was a character in the username field outside of what mod security considered a valid range at this paranoia level. This is because there was an @ in the username. Increasing the paranoia level this high means that, yes, exploits will fail, but the content management system is no longer usable as intended. Striking a balance between paranoia levels and creating custom rules, while also ensuring that a system remains usable, is a balance that is often found in security, and it's not an easy one to find. Our exploit fails. Even when running at default settings, web application firewalls provide another layer of defense that an attacker must move through, even if they can't 100% mitigate underlying vulnerabilities.